Hello, it's Ruby Burrito, and welcome. Today, we're going to talk about legendary trinkets. So, I've talked about some of the sets of legendary armor, one of the sets of legendary weapons, legendary back items, but now we've got these 5 pieces of gear here, and those are the trinkets. We're going to talk about legendary versions of these, and I'm going to start with the easiest one, in my opinion. It's, of course, going to be time-consuming, but it is the easiest one, and that is going to be from the Seasons of the Dragons achievement. You can see I've made quite a bit of headway, but I have not finished this yet. So, when you complete Tier 4, you get 2 things. You get the legendary Prismatic Champion's Regalia. This is a legendary amulet and returning champion. So, in order to do this, you need to complete 24 achievements. The first one is Return to Drytop. This is a meta achievement in and of itself. You can see that it'll start with Return to Disturbance in Brisbane Wildlands, and you can back out to here. If we take a look down here, this is where it's going to be. You have side stories, you have current events, that'll be where you can see Seasons of the Dragon. Then, return to Gates of Maguma. This achievement starts with Living World Season 2, so you do need to have all of the Living World seasons to get this. So, there is somewhat of a pay barrier if you do not already have these unlocked. When they did announce this before End of Dragons, they did give all of these away for free. I'm hoping that they do that eventually again in the future, because I know we've gotten some new players since then, but we'll have to see. Living World Season 2 will be these 4. Then you have Living World Season 3. You have Living World Season 4. You have the Icebrood Saga, all the way up to Return to Champions. So, if we take a look at the story journal, you're looking at primarily Living World Season 2, Living World Season 3, Living World Season 4, and the Icebrood Saga. You will need to play through all of this content and do additional achievements. So again, it is time-consuming, but there's no crafting, there's no paying for anything, and through this, you will get maybe some resources and things that will be helpful for other legendary trinkets. The first one on the list is going to be the Living World Season 3 legendary accessory, Aurora. I do want to take a moment here and just say I have not crafted all of these, so I do know what I'm talking about, but I can't speak to all of this from experience, so just take that as you will. However, in order to unlock Aurora, which you will see Aurora Awakening, you have to get the Sentient Seed, which is the 4 sentient creations from Season 3. Now, that is a feat in and of itself, because, for example, you will need to complete Token Collector and get the Sentient Aberration. This requires you to go to Ember Bay and find a whole lot of Mersat tokens throughout the island. Not all of these are easy, it is time consuming, some of them are in the jumping puzzle, so you do need to spend some time to get this. Once you have all of the sentient creations, it will give you a single one. You combine them into the Mystic Forge, you get one single gizmo, and what you do then is you get a sentient seed from that gizmo. That sentient seed unlocks Aurora Awakening, as you can see on the screen. Once you do that, once you get this unlocked, it is a meta achievement for completing Ember Bay Master, Siren's Landing Master, Lake Doric Master, Draconis Mons Master. It's going to be these Master achievements. Now, each of those is going to be a meta achievement again, and it's going to require you to play a bunch through each of those Living World episodes. Now, a good time to work on this is when there is a bonus event for going through Living World Season 3, like there is going on right now. However, this is still going to be a time sink. Once you complete all of those, you will complete Aurora Awakening, and then you will get Aurora Empowering. What Aurora Empowering is, you can either craft or purchase 21 Zunlight Electrum ingots, and you go and infuse them at a bunch of different locations. You can see on the screen here, there's 21 different locations to infuse them at. That's just a straightforward move around and do achievement. And once you complete that, you will get a Spark of Sentience. The Spark of Sentience is one of the 4 items that goes into craft Aurora. The other 3 are pretty straightforward. Mystic Tribute is a standard item. I won't go into all of that. If you're curious, you can see at the link down in the description for specifically how to craft Aurora. The Gift of Sentience, again, pretty straightforward. It's a Gift of the Mists, which is PvP, World v World, and some salvaging Ascended gear. Icy Runestones, the Gift of Valor. This is something that you get from Aurora Awakening. That is the reward for Aurora Awakening. And then a Gift of Energy, which, again, is just an Artificer gift. The Gift of Draconic Mastery, however, is going to be Living World Season 3 specific. You have a Gift of Bloodstone Magic, which requires 250 Blood Rubies, 250 Jade Shards, and 250 Orient Pearls. Those are the map-specific currencies for 3 of the maps. And the Gift of Dragon Magic, which is the other 3 maps: Petrified Wood, Fresh Winter Berries, and Fire Orchid Blossoms. Now, you can farm these through the home instance while you're doing all of this stuff, or while you're on those maps, you can be sure to gather those items. Bloodstone Shard, 200 Spirit Shards, and Crystalline Ingot is another standard item for Living World Season 3 / Heart of Thorns era. Then finally, you have the Spark of Sentience. Those are your 4 items. You combine them in the Mystic Forge, and you'll get your Aurora. Aurora shares its visual with Coalescence and Vision, and so it changes depending on how many of them you have equipped. I will show those at the end of talking about those 3. Next is going to be Vision. Vision is the legendary accessory from the Living World Season 4 content. Now, you can see that there's a bunch of different ones here. I actually have gotten Vision 1 kicked off. However, Vision 1 does have a lot more going for it than I originally had anticipated, actually. So you need to have a Sky Scale for certain parts of the collection, and you do need to have the Rift Repair Mastery. You also need 6 Memory Essence Encapsulators, which in total is 300 Ectos, 60 Orichalcum Filigrees, 6 Lesser Vision Crystals, and 8 Zunlight Electrum Ingots. You need to have those for 6 different metas. So if we take a look at Vision 1, you can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, each pertaining to a specific Living World Season 4 episode. You can see Istan, Dragonfall, Jahai, Thunderhead Peaks, Korna, and Sandswept Isles, not necessarily in that order. However, each of these is going to have a meta that you need to have a Memory Essence Encapsulator for. For example, for Istan, defeating Warden Amala, you have to defeat her while holding a Memory Essence Encapsulator. Then, you need to complete 6 different Living World Season 4 achievements, such as Daybreak Mastery. So what Daybreak Mastery is, if we go to the story journal, we go to Daybreak, that is the meta achievement for the Daybreak Living World story. There is War Eternal, there is All or Nothing, Star to Guide Us, Long Live the Lich, Bug in the System, and Daybreak. In order to complete this portion of Vision, you need to complete the mastery for each of these. We can go back to Vision. That is going to be the first one here. So available to purchase from Trader Hyacinth upon completion of a Star to Guide Us Mastery achievement. That's for Visions of Jahai. Now, there are several other gates here, such as in Visions of Istan. There's Vision of Equipment, Astral Weapons. You have to craft 6 Astral or Stellar Weapons. That has a cost associated with it that you'll see on screen. There is the Reinforced Olmecon Bandolier. That's going to be related to the Sandswept Isles. The next one is going to be the Banner of the Commander, which I do already have, which is nice. After that, you're going to have the Jahai Collection, which will be completing the Conversions of Sorrow 1 Elegy achievement. You have to complete the Elegy Armor, which we can search here as well. That'll be this one. You need to complete this achievement. Console an Awakened Armorsmith and change the heart on a Sunspear. We go back to Vision. Thunderhead Peaks will be the 5th one. You have to craft 6 Dragon's Blood weapons. And for the final one, that is going to be Dragonfall, you have to craft a full set of Tier 1 Mist Shard armor. There is a cost associated with all of that. Right now, as I'm making this, the cost primarily due to 693 globs of ectoplasm at 248 gold. The total will be 320 gold, 27 silver, and 95 copper. I would suggest using the wiki as a reference when you're going through the visions here. Once you're done with that, you will unlock Vision 2 Farsight. So I can see this one. I could not see the Aurora 2 because I have Vision 1 unlocked. Vision 2 Farsight requires you to complete Vision 1. Vision 2 Farsight is going to require you to kneel at 20 different Living World Season 4 insights. So similar to Aurora 2, you just kind of run around and go to a bunch of different locations. So that one's pretty straightforward. Vision 2 will give you a quarter of the items that you need for the legendary accessory. So again, you'll need a Mystic Tribute, pretty standard. The Gift of Prescience requires that shattered Gift of Prescience. So if we go to the Vision 1 Awakening, you'll use this, similar to Aurora. A Gift of the Mist, the same thing. Icy Runestone, same thing. And a Gift of Energy is going to be the same as Aurora. This time, you'll have a Gift of Crystalline Magic and a Gift of Ephemeral Magic, which is going to be 100 of each of the 6 specific, map-specific currencies, and a bottle of Elonian Wine. A bottle of Elonian Wine is just something that you purchase from Miani or a Mystic Forge attendant at the Mystic Forge. The last one is going to be 100 Funerary Incenses. This one is a little bit trickier because the typical way of getting this is doing hearts, and you are limited by how many you can purchase a day. You can also trade crystalline ingots up to 5 per day, but you'll need 100 of these. So I would suggest before you start doing all of this, figure out which is the best way for you to get your Funerary Incense, whether it's doing the heart quests or trading at the Primeval Stewards in the Tomb of the Primeval King every single day. The last item then is going to be Glimpse. That is the reward for Vision 2 Farsight. The final item that shares a visual effect is going to be Coalescence. Coalescence is a raid ring. This is going to require you to do Path of Fire raids. The first part of Coalescence, I can show you. It doesn't matter what raid boss you beat. I've beaten some of the Wing 1 and Wing 2 raid bosses, but that unlocked this for me. However, I do need to do Path of Fire raids to complete these achievements. So, Transcendental Binding, Transcendental Ink, and Transcendental Parchment are purchased. These are purchased from Scholar Glenna or Kadim's Portable Magnetic Shard Exchange. You do need to have Magnetite. I have 180. So what I actually could purchase a couple of these and make some progress. However, this one combines the first 3 in the Mystic Forge with some Brand Sparks, which is an item from Path of Fire. And then Meditation Log Crystal Oasis requires you to sit. So these ones here just require you to sit in specific places in Crystal Oasis, Desert Highlands, Ellen Riverlands, Desolation, Domain of Vabi, and then this is going to be obtained by talking to someone in the Desert Highlands with the rest of this in your inventory. Sorry, with this in your inventory. The next step is going to be Coalescence 2, the Gift. This requires you to interact with a bunch of bottles all over the map. I'm just going to put a screenshot up of the different places that you need to go. It's really just either interact with bottles, talk to somebody, or, for example, there's one that is jump into the Mystic Forge and Lion's Arch. This should be pretty straightforward. We don't need to spend too much time on this one. Pause it if you're curious. Otherwise, there will be links below for Coalescence. Coalescence 3, Culmination, requires you to do the Key of Adashim raid. The Key of Adashim raid is called Wing 7. You need to defeat 3 raid bosses, and then once you do that, you can talk to Hasura in the Desolation, in Abaddon's Cave, and then in the Sunspear Sanctuary, after you've beaten the raid bosses, you can purify the Twisted Essences that you get. The final item is going to be the Infused Meditation Logbook, which, if you're doing everything in order, will automatically go into your inventory. That is going to give you the Gift of Patience, which is one of the 4 items for Coalescence. And now Coalescence, of course, will require a Mystic Tribute, a Gift of Compassion. This one is a little bit different. The Gift of Desert Mastery. This is it requires map completion. A Gift of the Rider, which has Spirit of the Raptor, this is something that you get for Elegy Mosaics. This is a Path of Fire currency, Bloodstone Shard, and then more Funerary Incenses. So again, when you start this one, you'll want to do Funerary Incenses right off the bat. 6 Balls of Dark Energy, which is salvaging Ascended Weapons and Gear. Gift of Complex Emotions. This is going to be the item that you get from Coalescence 2. And 150 Legendary Insights, which is from Raid Encounters. The Gift of Patience, which is the last item that you get from Coalescence 3. And Hateful Swirl, Coalescence 1. That's going to be Coalescence. Now, I can show you what the 3 different tiers are for the different visual effects for Aurora, Coalescence, and Vision. They look pretty good, but it can be a lot of visual noise. I know a lot of people don't love having them, or some people don't love having them just because it creates a lot of stuff around your character. The last 2 things that we're going to talk about are going to be Conflux and Transendence. We'll talk about Transendence first. These are probably 2 of the easiest aside from the first amulet that I discussed. Transendence just requires you to play PvP. I'll show you guys what it takes, but a lot of this is just PvP specific currencies and then general legendary specific items. If you have seen the video about crafting the PvP armor, it's along the same lines. You have, surprise, surprise, a Mystic Tribute. And then Gift of the Champion, which a Vial of Salt is just tier 6 and 5 crafting materials with PvP specific currencies. Emblem of Victory, which is from PvP matches, winning PvP matches. Mist Diamond, PvP currencies. Mist Enhanced Orichalcum, that's Orichalcum, and PvP currencies, which is purchased from a League vendor. A lot of this is purchased from the League vendor. Gift of Glory, this is from Miani, it's PvP currency. Gift of Battle, which is World v World. This is a Gift of the Mist, which we've seen before. Gift of Competitive Dedication, this I believe is in the PvP Legendary Armor. Record of League Participation, League Tickets, it's a PvP currency. Glob of Condensed Spirit Energy, that's Spirit Shards. Star of Glory, Ascended Shards of Glory are PvP currency. Jar of Distilled Glory, again, this is Shards of Glory. Tome of the Mists, this is Tomes of Knowledge. You just purchase that from the League vendor. Gift of Skirmishing is a perfect Mist Core. This requires you to play PvP and get Mist Core fragments from the Glorious Armor box from the Glorious Reward track. Certificate of Support, PvP League Tickets, Shards of Glory, and Vision Crystals. Pretty standard item is for those. And the Mist Pendant, there are 3 different ways to purchase this. It's either from Fractals, PvP, or World v World, just from vendors. The final item is going to be Conflux. Very similar to PvP. The PvP Transcendence, you're going to need a Mystic Tribute. Gift of the World, which requires you similarly to use tier 6 and 5 crafting materials and World v World currencies. Emblem of the Conqueror is something that you get from capturing 100 objectives. Mist Pearl and Mist Enhanced Mithril are purchased for World v World currencies. Gift of the Mists, we've seen that one before. Gift of War Dedication, it's going to be World v World currencies and Spirit Shards. Again, Icy Runestones is gold. Legendary Spike drops randomly. 4 Gifts of Battle, just completing the Gift of Battle reward track. 250 Memories of Battle, Vision Crystals, and then again the Mist Band infused similarly to the Mist Pendant. You just purchase this in either Fractals, PvP, or World v World. And that's going to be it. That is all of the legendary trinkets. You can see that with Transcendence, you get a vision into 2 gladiators in the Eternal Colosseum, and with Conflux, you will see 7 Char approaching Stone Mist Castle. So there's some cool visual effects that come into play for these. When you have all of them, it can be a lot, but it is cool to see. There are, of course, 2 amulets in this list, so you do not need to get both Transcendence and the Prismatic Champion's Regalia. It does keep you from having to play PvP in order to get that legendary amulet. However, both are an option. That's going to wrap it up for today. Thank you guys for sitting through all of that information. I know it was a lot to cover. If you have any suggestions or tips, things that I might have missed, let me know down below in the comments. I'd love to see it because I will be working on these eventually. and hopefully it'll help somebody else. Otherwise, you guys have been awesome. Thank you so much for all the support. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you are new here and have been enjoying the content. I'd appreciate the support. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next one.